Northeast Ohio Girls Basketball Coaches Panel, year number 7. We are here with some distinguished coaches once again, and we are dying to hear their takes and their perspectives on some questions we're going to ask them tonight. So without further ado, we are going to turn this over. We've got a panel. We'll introduce them as they go. In fact, if you wouldn't mind, maybe you could even introduce yourselves down the line first, just so we know and the fans know who we got here tonight.
Siobhan Bell from VASJ.
Brad Sutton from Villa Angel St. Joseph.
Rod Smith, Alliance High School.
Greg Sampson, Alliance High School.
Mel Burke, Senior, Lutheran High School East.
I'm Paul Forrest from Eastlake North High School.
Damaris Winters from Brush High School.
Ron Donaldson Jr., Trinity High School.
Norbert Spivey from Shaw High School.
Eugene White, Richmond Heights High School.
L. Meeks, Mansfield Senior High School.
All right, fantastic. I think, Coach Meeks, since you've got the microphone, maybe we'll start this way and we'll work our way down, and then we'll come back the other way, okay? So thank you all for coming, to our coaches roundtable tonight. We appreciate it. It's always a good time. And of course, we're all excited to get this season underway, which is very close now. It's just around the corner. So first thing I would like to do, sort of like question one to all of you, because I think this is the most important part, is maybe you can tell us a little bit about the upcoming season, how you see things. I know practices just kind of got underway, so you're trying to find your way too. But if you can give us a little bit of a preview on what you think is ahead for you this season.
I just think it's going to be real nice and historical season for our girls. Got a lot of seniors and juniors coming back. They have something to play for because we've been doing this for a long time. They've been starting as freshmen and now they're seniors. Mm-hmm. So I think it's time for them to take the next step. And me being my first year as the head coach, but I've been working with them kind of like since middle school or whatnot. So they have chemistry. They've been working together. So right now it's just putting it all together, and we getting to know each other and working hard. And like I said, they said it's their team. Yep. And they love each other, and they just said it's going to be a big season, and they're watching now, and they wanted me to say, Lady Tigers are in the building, baby. So there you go, Lady Tigers.
All right, Coach White from Richmond Heights, what do you got for us?
We're just really excited. In the past, I think we're big on expectations. We have expectations. We're changing the culture over at Richmond Heights. We had a great year last year, but I told our girls that day ended on October 27th. Last year ended October 27th. It's a whole new year. We were blessed last year to be ranked 4th in the state in Division 4. Finished at 21-4. We brought back 6 young ladies that can play. But it's a whole new regime. Even though they played last year, it's a lot of new things that we're trying to do. We're trying to continue to build. But overall, we're excited. Our coaching staff, we're really excited the fact that we just be our first year maybe in the last 10, 12 years having a JV team. Mm-hmm. So we'll have middle school, JV, and a varsity team, hopefully, as long as everybody stays healthy. So we're really more proud about that, the building of the program and changing it, just bringing a whole different culture, a whole new vibe to it.
Okay, excellent. Coach Spivey, Shaw Cardinals.
Well, this year, we're still in the rebuilding process. This is year 2 with me at the helm. So, we have, expectations of being able just to compete every night that we step out on the floor. We're really working hard right now. I know it's very early, and I'm still learning on what I have. I only have 4 returners from last year, but the young ladies are stepping up, and we're gonna see what we do this year.
Okay. Now, Coach Donaldson, Trinity, what do you have for us in the 2023-24 season?
Well, I'm really excited about what we have. We have everyone coming back except for one senior from last year, and we're still super young. We only have 2 seniors. So I put high expectations on them. I went as far as to say we should be the conference champions this year. So that's kind of what I put. We have a high standard. Last year was kind of like spades. First hand bids itself, but now we're going to come a little stronger this year, for sure.
Okay. Coach Winters, setting the bar high this year, huh?
Yeah, I think we got a pretty exciting team this year. I was just telling Coach Forrest, kind of reminds me of the team a couple years back when we had 5 D1 kids all on one starting lineup with Donnae Frazier, Asia Nicholson, Kayla White, Taylor Johnson Matthews, and Zanaya Thomas. So we got some kids that's comparable to that right now. Some young kids coming in. Got 2 very, very, very exciting freshmen that's coming in that'll play right away in the starting lineup right away. And we got some seniors that kind of been through what we been through the brush gauntlet in the last couple years. And that's 6'6" Tasia Mims, Brooklyn Vickers, and Rihanna Williams, along with Santaya Lanton. There are 4 seniors. So you add that, the young kids with our seniors, and then we have those sophomores and juniors who can really, really play, who I'll kind of talk about them a little bit later on. But I'm excited. We're excited around here in the building. We're excited in the district. We did some good things in the summer. We came together and went to about 7 or 8 college camps, and we competed on a high level with some against some high level teams and won games. I think we went maybe 30-4 in the summer. I'm always counting. So we lost against Olmsted Falls by a couple points, lost against Richmond by a couple points, lost against Wadsworth, I think, on the last second shot, and then we lost to a PA team down at Marietta. So other than that, we against some really stiff competition, we won some good games. So I'm very excited. Our girls are working hard right now here in the building. They're at practice right now with my assistants, going through some different things. They might be watching this now, but they had practice early, and we're excited. We're ready to go. Okay.
Coach North from the Eastlake North Rangers.
Yeah, I'm in year 16 at Eastlake North. We've been fortunate over the years to have a lot of talent and have a lot of success. This year we have probably about 3 of our varsity girls that played significant minutes last year. One of them is a senior point guard who's a tough kid, and I think you got to have a good point guard to win at the varsity level. So we're excited for her. And the other 2 I would think are maybe top 3 or 5 kids in our conference. So those 3 are definitely going to be leaned on heavily, and we're acclimating a couple of girls that did not play with us in the summer for various reasons, but they did come out. They're here now, so they have some talent. Depth-wise, I'd say we're about 7 or 8 deep right now, so there's some competition for starting positions and who's going to fill what role. My major concern is leadership. We lost some great seniors last year, a couple of them that are playing college ball. They gave us a lot of leadership on and off the court. So I'm going to lean on those 3 that we got coming back. One of them's a sophomore, but she's probably one of the better players in the conference. So it's an exciting time of year. There's a lot of enthusiasm in the gym, a lot of people that are hungry to earn their spots. And I just preach every year, since 2008, like if we play hard and we love each other, then whenever we end up at the end, we're doing the right thing. So it's more culture and more building young ladies and getting them ready for their future. But certainly it's a lot more fun when you get some wins along the way too.
And it's preseason for me too, because I think I called you Coach North and I meant Coach Force.
I got it.
So,
All good.
yeah,
All good.
Yeah, I'm shaking off the rust a little bit. Coach
good.
Burke from the Lou, what can you tell us about what you see down the road for you?
Well, right now we're doing a conditioning thing and the building of our unity, which is in a positive manner. We are a little more deeper than last year, but we're young. We got some pretty good freshmen that's stepping right in to join the 5 seniors that we do have. Right now we're just trying to get in good shape, conditioning-wise. Pray for good health, injury-free. But I'm really proud of them. Everybody has bought in academically, athletically, socially, and looking for a good season. We're kind of deep, but we're young. But we're going to give it the best shot we can.
Okay. And now we've got a pair from Alliance, Coach Smith and Coach Sampson. Anything in this early stage that you can point to for what you're looking out of your team?
Yes, we're a veteran team, like the other programs. This is my 5th year, and with that building, with a culture, a good basketball culture. Each year we've improved. We went from 2 to 22 my first year to actually last year we actually won a first round playoff game. That hadn't happened in Alliance in over a decade.
Wow.
So I'm very excited to see what my foundation of my seniors will produce for us. Like I said, like with the other coaches, we're conditioning, trying to get accurate, to get our feet up under us. But we're very excited for this upcoming season.
Okay.
Moving forward. Coach, you have
Did you want to add anything, Coach Sam? No? Okay, moving on to Coach Bell and also Coach Sutton with the VASJ Vikings. How's it looking for you guys down there? I know you got a new football field, but that's another sport. But what about the basketball for us this year?
I'm kind of like the younger teams. This is my 3rd year. I have one player going into the 3rd year with me,
Okay.
which is my daughter. We're leaning heavily on a sophomore. We lost a senior last year who helped our then freshman.
Okay.
We're young, super young. Just like some of the other coaches trying to get conditioning. The past 3 years we've been working on culture. I think we got to host our first playoff game last year as well. It did not go the way we wanted it to go. We're getting there. We went from 2-21 to 15-7 last year.
Okay.
So we have something to build on. So I think we have one senior, 3 juniors. Of the 3, only one of them has actually gotten significant minutes. The rest are freshmen and sophomore.
Okay.
So we do still have the JV program. We're just building, trying to get Joe's back to what it used to be. I know in 1999 they brought home a state championship. So just trying to build off of that and that culture
Sure.
there. The biggest thing I love about them is they love each other. So I'm trying to get us past just loving each other. You know what I mean? Like, we are also here to play basketball and, like, win. Like, if I could get them past the just loving each other, you know? So I often tell them, formulate a club if you just want to hang with each other. Like, you can have a club outside of basketball. So other than that, conditioning is big for us. We have one gym. We've been sharing it with football and volleyball, and volleyball went kind of far this year. So again, along with some of the other coaches, just trying to condition. My assistant here does a great job with fundamentals and just trying to get a lot of those 9th graders acclimated to high school basketball. And that is a lot of what it is.
Okay.
Some of these incoming freshmen, just getting them acclimated to high school basketball.
Sure.
So I'm just along with everybody else. We're young, we're rebuilding, we are excited. So I'm interested in seeing what they do. They think they have it figured out, so I'm actually interested for Saturday.
Okay. Coach Sutton?
No comment.
And now you both have come in. I'm sorry I don't have names, but if you can introduce yourself.
Good evening. Carlton Conwell, head coach of the Shaker Heights Lady Red Raider basketball.
Okay. What do you see? The question was, how do you foresee the coming season? We know it's early on yet, and you haven't had a whole lot of time to work with them, but what are you looking to? Maybe some leaders for you this year. How do you see the season?
Great. Well, we're really excited. The energy around the community of Shaker Heights is really supporting us this year. Me being in year 2, coming off of a we call Midwest successful season. We were able to host a playoff game, and we want to continue to improve on that. Had a number of players graduate, some now playing collegiate ball, and we're excited about the young depth that we have. The one big thing I just got here, because we're in the gym work as well, that comes with this. But we're excited for the opportunity. Our girls are really performing academically. That's most important. They're really striving in the classroom. That's what we're really excited about, and they're developing chemistry as a team. One big thing we're pushing this year is we, not me. And, once everyone believes in that system, everything else will play out as well.
Okay.
Last year I had the pleasure of coaching against some of these amazing coaches up here, and they're all doing great in their respective communities. And we're just excited for the future of Lady Raider basketball. Administration's really been backing us. This off season, we've had a number of girls played AAU as well, and we're excited about what's coming in. We got 2 sisters who we expect a strong year from, Lizzie and CC Faye Fred. Aaron Harris, a point guard. And we got a lot of young talent that the outside community haven't seen yet. Some due to academics and other things, and some just now wanting to represent Lady Raider basketball.
Sure.
So we're excited where we're going this year, excited to get things going in this amazing gym here this upcoming Saturday. So we're excited about that, and we're just going to continue to grind. Year 2, really continue to learn the philosophy, learn and develop leadership. We want these girls prepared for when they get the opportunity to go to the next level. But for those who don't, we want it to be an amazing senior year and just in general season. We got a strong schedule. This year we opened up next to our neighbors right here. I was next to VA St. Joe's here at the Great Lakes Classic. We won there last year, beat a strong team. But this year we're excited for where we're going. My supporting staff has been amazing. Add a few pieces on that bench aspect because you're only as good as your staff. And so we know we're working together collectively to complete what we're doing. We got some major games. We travel out state this year. We're going to a national invitation in North Carolina. We're very excited about. There'll be some Division I teams playing before we play. For us to be invited after just year 1, that speaks volumes. So, we're just really about showing it.
Right.
We don't like to talk much. We just want to come in with our lunchbox and, and do what we got to do, but continue to have each other's back. Team, together, everyone achieves more. So it's all about we, not me. No one player is going to win the game or lose the game. We're going to do it together. We work together. We sweat together. We even study in study halls together. We're all about collectively doing this thing and excited for what's coming.
I like the we, not me. That sounds like a T-shirt coming right there with that on the back. So
stay tuned.
All right, Coach, would you like to add some things and introduce
I'm
yourself?
from Akon Garfield.
Okay.
So I came all the way from Akron.
You had a little bit of a ride.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like coming up to Cleveland. Y'all cool up here.
Okay.
Well, we're young. I have a transfer actually from Alliance, so hopefully, she'll be a good addition to our team. But as of right now, I have one more senior that just came back. I got a lot of girls that are coming back trying to play, so we're trying to fit everything together, stay conditioned. I done lost a few because we are running a lot too, so we're gonna be conditioned. That's my top priority also. And just trying to get them to know the game a little more.
Sure.
I feel like at first, I had a lot of first-year players last year, and it was just purely off of because they were athletic that we got some wins. So now it's time to teach the game. And they're still young enough to, make it work. Our beginning might be a little rough, but, we're going to stick with it, roll with the punches. I don't know Garfield's history all like that because my school closed. I went to Kenmore. But I want better for this community, for Akon Garfield on the girls' side. So we're looking for more support. We're looking to make sure that the people in the community come out to our games. Hopefully we surprise a few people this season with a couple wins. And last year finished 500, so can't be upset if I finish the same. But like always, you want more, you want better, and you want them to have that same passion that you have. So that's what me and our staff, we're trying to get our girls to have that passion behind it.
Sure.
And not just be out there just running. Like, you can go do track if you want to do cardio. We want you to learn the game and, know what you're doing out there. So that's what we're trying to do.
You were the last one in, but we're going to put you under the microphones, or under the lights, actually, with the mic. In round 2, these questions are going to be a little different for everybody. That was kind of a basic first question, but since you've got the microphone, what I'd like to ask is, when your own playing career was over, when and where and how did you become a coach yourself? How did you come upon the notion that, you know what, I want to sit on that bench, I want to coach those kids?
So when I played for a few years at my school, I went to D2 NAIA in Indiana, Indiana Tech, and I ended up getting pregnant, so I didn't finish my last year. But when I came home, fortunately, I've been in basketball my whole life. My mother was a coach, so I played for her, and that's where it all sparked from. And when I moved back home, she was like, "What you doing? Come on." So that's what I had to do. It was like, come on, you're doing this. So it's kind of I think it's a family thing. So I don't know anything else, to be honest. Been in the gym my whole life.
Okay.
And I feel comfortable in the gym. And when she passed on, rest in peace, I just knew I had to step up and take over. So that's where I
Fantastic.
am.
Well, we wish you all the luck in the world this year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coach, my question for you would be, what do you think, maybe a few attributes or a few descriptive words, what makes for a good coach? And maybe that differs, from high school to college to pro. I don't know, but what do you think makes for a very good high school coach at this point?
Well, speaking like you mentioned those different levels, I had experience. I coached collegiate basketball for 13 years, 3 different universities, before taking on a head coaching role. And I had to learn that each seat has a different role. I remember from being the person bringing out the balls, doing the internships and the volunteer work and the years just being involved in it, just to pick other coaches' brains apart. And then I remember my career growing, and I'm excited. Coaching, it's about the communication. It's about the understanding. We all come from different backgrounds, but when we're in the gym, or if it's on the football field, or wherever, we're in this together. That puts away all the differences in the outside world because we all wear the same jersey. So I learned from great coaches, and I continue to stay in touch with a lot of my mentors and developing these relationships with other coaches because coaches help coaches. Sure. One coach might run one thing another way than another one, but you might pick something out of that, like that's what the missing piece was. And it's all about the kids. After coaching college for years and now coming to high school, the big thing is impacting these children's lives so they have an opportunity in the world besides just basketball. That's why we preach academics, because first it's student athlete. And, you're only as good as who's leading you. All my coaches have degrees. All my coaches, a number of them have played on the next level. So, they actually allows them opportunity to see and hear from people who went through it as well. And I'm not a perfect piece, but I'm a learning piece, and I'm going to keep growing. And that's what every new year brings: new optimism, new opportunities, and new growth. And that's a big thing of coaching, because you get anxious to see what you got, and when you got it, it's like, now how can I help these lives? So,
sure.
That's what I'm in it for, to help these kids. And also, like I said, I speak academics high, because at Shaker Heights we really preach that. Last year, all of our girls graduated, and we plan to continue that tradition. That's the most important, and developing great girls on the court and off the court, and it helps with the staff that does it. We have females and males, so that brings the diversity to it. We have a number of supporting pieces through the administration and building that support us. We can't do it all by ourselves. Again, it falls back to we, not me. I stay in touch with their counselors, their parents. Those are the things that matter, We can talk about postseason internships and jobs, but you have this much of a window to enjoy being your high school career. And we want you to maximize that. Anything we can do to help that, that's what we're here to do. And we stand on that.
Perfect. Coach Sutton, do you want to take a question here?
Oh, yeah, I'll take one.
Okay, so I'd be interested in knowing, what are some of the strengths you think a high school coach needs to have, and what do you think is your greatest strength as a high school coach?
I think my greatest strength is just communicating. I like over-communicating. Like, we were in practice earlier. I'm like, hey, if she said it, I got to say it again. Then I got to break it down so you can understand, because I don't want any leakage through, like, oh, what does this happen? Just listen to what I'm saying, and everything will be fine. Also relate, just being relatable. Just again, going to volleyball games, to some of the kids that play volleyball or soccer games, and just being around so they could see my face and be like, oh, that's Coach Brad. Oh, so he's a familiar face, so I can trust him, and that builds up the trust, and that would build also to, what, if he's saying this, I could trust him because he's been around, he said this, and it's my second year here. Sure. So now it's like, okay, well, my ears are perked up a little bit more, so now he's trying to get me to a point where I need to get to. So,
Coach Bell, let me flip the question a little bit. In all your years of coaching, what do you think makes for a successful high school basketball player? Not so much a coach right now, but what do you look for in a player?
Commitment. I think commitment is big. I was just speaking on it with my girls today. I don't think that they understand that Brad and I do have other jobs. I think And just like I told him, Joe's is a very high academic school. I know like a 70 is maybe like a F or a D there.
Okay.
So our girls are working in the classroom. I'm trying to get my freshmen to understand now that a sore throat doesn't keep you from practice. I have a hair appointment, does not keep you from practice. I gotta get my nails done. So just commitment for me from those girls, and I want them to love it. Like, my biggest thing with them is it's more than basketball. You know, I do want them to understand. I had a couple of girls text me today, I'm not feeling well, but should I come watch? You know, go ahead and take care of your health. You know, it's more than basketball for me with them, and I just want them to understand that. And then I sometimes fall into that part of them trying to be a part of something.
Sure.
So I struggle with, should I keep her? Should I cut her? You know, because this is high school. They get 4 years. That's it. Some of them won't go anywhere from here. So as a player, I'm just looking for commitment at this point. That's it.
Coach Smith, your question, how do you cultivate team unity in an era when we've got iPhones and selfies and I, me all over the place? How do you cultivate team unity?
Well, that's a very good question, especially during these times. First, you have to exclude the telephones. More team dinners, more team outings, camping. Be creative.
Sure.
Here in the past, my coaches and I have had a Secret Santa type of pajama, bring a blanket, movie night type of setup. Those tend to work, but with this day and age, you first have to start off with put the phones away.
Right.
You have to start off there.
Okay. And then Coach Sampson, my question for you is, and maybe this rides on that answer a little bit, what do you think is the biggest challenge for a high school coach today as opposed to 5-10 years ago? Has that changed at all?
Sorry. Shout out to our soccer team, Alliance. Hey, district champs. Way to go, girls. Great season.
Well done. Well done. So tell me a little bit about how players have changed over the years that you've seen. And today, in 2023, what are some of the bigger challenges that you face with players?
Well, I think it's changed tremendously because of the cell phones and all this high-tech stuff. Kids just don't pay attention to details for me. I got taught by old school coaches, man, and it was detail. It was like no talking back. It was being respectful. Well, I think kids has lost that some because it's their opinion, what they think. No matter how hard you're trying to make them understand, but I should have, or you know what I mean? So you're constantly trying to love teach,
sure,
but you want an understanding and you're trying to build relationships along the way as well. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to walk to a kid and she turned her head. You know what I mean? So you have to, you got to pity pat a little bit. You know, but still at some point you have to be firm.
Okay. Thank you for that answer. Coach Burke, my question for you would be, what tactics, or I don't know if tactics is a rough word, how do you motivate players? What kinds of things do you do to motivate players maybe when the energy level isn't quite there that day?
Well, being married 33 years and coaching girls, I've learned to control a little more of the yelling compared to the communication part of talking, asking them a few questions about how they feel, getting some feedback from them. Because a lot of times I do have to explain, especially when you get, like this year we have 2 sophomores, about 4 freshmen that's going to be playing. They're not used to this yet. So I've learned over my years, like they said, being a coach and learning from other coaches, you can't yell until you teach. So you're yelling, but you haven't taught, or knowing what button to push certain players. So I think the whole thing is communicating, having a team bonding once you even get there, explaining the rules and your style of play. I'm 61 years old. They still tell me I play too much with my jokes and all that. But I got a serious side too. But we got to be able to relate as we teach.
Coach Force, something I've always wanted to know. I don't know about the rest of us, but you're very experienced. You've been around, and I'm not sure how many years now coaching in the high school game. But go ahead.
16 at North, but yeah, more than half my life, 22 years of coaching in high school.
Okay, so in those 16 years, what does a coach say on day one in practice? And you've done it 16 times now, and maybe a few more before that.
Yeah, and it's stayed similar. Luckily, since 2008, that's just what our program is about. We talk about five is one, and TLSTE, trust, love, strength, togetherness, enthusiasm. Any strong program or any strong family or business, I think you got to have those 5 things, and it all starts with trust. If you're going to earn people's trust, number one, you got to be there for them. You got to be there every day for them. I've coached at North for 16 years, and anytime we had a practice or game, I've been there. Days are not always easy, but I never not been there. Okay. So I expect you guys to be there. Coach was talking about the sore throats and stuff like that. So if people are going to trust you, number one, you got to be there for them. Number two, you got to be the same person every day. If they are coming in, they don't know what to expect, then people aren't going to trust you. They might be walking on eggshells. So I preach that, the TLSTE, to the girls. We talk about class and respect on day one. We want to be classy and respectful, because to me, there's no gray area there. You're either classy and respectful, or you're trashy and disrespectful. And we're not going to have those kind of girls in our program. So we establish that from day one. You call your coaches coach. You call your teachers Mr. and Mrs. My best friends call me Force, and none of you guys are my best friends. So just class things, kind of teaching them the way to treat adults. Right. And then we talk about being good people, good students, and then good athletes. Because who they are as people, that's going to take all of them a lot further in life than who they are as a basketball player. And I'm big on now, this has kind of shifted over the years as I've coached more, but a big phrase we use now is be where your feet are. I think with young people and the technology, there's so many times that we're somewhere, but we're not really there. We're not really present in the moment. So we talk about being where our feet are, and sometimes that's a great place, and you might feel like you're on top of the mountain, but you got to stay humble. And sometimes where your feet are is not a great place, and you might feel like you're down in the dumps, but you got to stay hopeful. So we talk about those life type of things, and I throw a lot at them. They know that. But I say, one of my goals is that when you guys are 30, 40 years old, you're saying something to one of your kids that maybe Coach Force said to you when you were 16, So try to keep the bigger picture in mind. We've won a lot of games some years. We haven't won as many games some years, but I try to stay consistent to those core values.
Okay, well said.
Thanks.
Coach Winters, my question for you would be, and sports and high school sports have changed over the decades. What's your feeling about players, and you have a couple of them, who play multiple sports? And does that detract from the game you coach? Does it help the game you coach? What's your feeling on those who play more than one?
That's a great question. I love playing more than one sport. Love it. When I was coming up, it wasn't so many people, so many players who did it. We kind of stuck to what we did, and even the coaches in some aspects made us stick to basketball or football or whatever it may be. I think that's the old-fashioned way of doing things, right? It's not that way anymore. I love for our kids. One of our better kids, as you know, Brooklyn Vickers is an outstanding soccer player.
Yep.
Outstanding. Was player of the year, not player of the year, but player of the week a couple times. Got some letters in soccer. How can we deny that kid that type of opportunity? We're with, and I think everyone here is the same. We're with giving kids opportunities, making more opportunities for kids and children and students. You know what I mean? So I welcome it. I had 6 play volleyball this year and 1 play soccer. So, but they, what I do expect is the commitment still. Even though we're not in season, they came and worked out, shot a little bit. We didn't do anything strenuous, with those kids that play, and they don't have to, but we kind of expect it. Brooklyn Vickers being our captain, our leading scorer, 18 points a game, we kind of expect her to be in the gym shooting around a little bit. We're not expecting her to go up and down.
Right.
And I was always in those games. I'm like, please don't let her get hit or let her fall or let her, you know what I mean? But please.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I feel about that is that we should, we should, and that helps. It helps with the conditioning. It helps with having to stay eligible. The studies, which is first, right? So for me, number one is being a great person. Number two is your grades, and number three is basketball. Okay. So I would never deny a kid that. Also, my whole team played powder puff football. What is that, man? Powder. Oh my God, powder puff football at the end of the season last year. They played flag football, whatever that new thing is. I was like, all right, you know what I mean? Go ahead. They were winning games. They were doing good. My one of my players is the star quarterback. One is the star receiver. My whole team plays football. It's like, and that's a good thing. The camaraderie, the family, and like everyone else said, we're a family here at Brush. And that's what I say on the first day. You didn't ask me that question, but I say on the first day that we're a family. We sacrifice for each other. We play with each other. We cry with each other. We laugh with each other. We have fun with each other. We're going to be with each other for the next 4 years if you're a freshman. So our girls are all hard workers, from the girls who've been here that's seniors, and the girls who just that I talked about that are coming in. They're all hard workers, and they all love each other. They all sacrifice for each other. And to answer your question, I would never take that opportunity away from a young lady who can. And another thing is they can get a scholarship there too. Sure. I'm all about scholarships. I'm all about good young ladies and getting these, as you can see, getting young ladies into school for free, because I know that propels them as an adult. And they can, skip so many things. That degree gets you in so many different doors. I know myself, I know we all know up here. So that's my biggest thing, is to get these girls in school for free, so that they can propel themselves into adulthood. One thing, and I apologize, I thank you all for coming. I should have said this first. I used to say it first, but I got so excited when you asked me about my team. I was like, I wanted to talk about Tasia and Brooklyn and Tati and everybody, and Shanaira and all these good kids. But thank you all for coming tonight for the panel, and thank you all for participating in our sixth or seventh annual preview on Saturday. It'll be some good fun. Don't beat me too bad with all that talent you got over there, Shaker. You got all that talent over there, man. Oh, goodness gracious.
Coach Donaldson, my question for you, and again, we'll go back to an era that we're in currently. It just seems like kids today have a lot more, I don't know if you want to call them opportunities, distractions, different things they can be involved in. How do you build participation and excitement in saying, hey, I want you to come out for basketball? So how would you do that at Trinity?
Well, for me, last year, starting out, we had 4 kids in the gym in the fall. And this time around, we had about 20 plus. So that's the next step. And we also have younger girls coming in. So we're just trying to build a pipeline. So I think you have to make the environment good, somewhere they feel safe, somewhere they feel where they can make mistakes. Because a lot of times confidence has been low, self-esteem has been real low. So just boosting their self-esteem. My girls do a great job, but when the young girls come in, if they make a layup, some shots they throw up to the lights and it drops in, they all go crazy, run around the gym. So that just kind of makes them feel good. So just having a good culture for them to be around, because you don't know what they're dealing with outside of school, outside of the program. They all come from different walks of life. So just having a good, safe place for them to be themselves, develop, and feel good about themselves. So I think that's most important.
And Sora, just a second question to that. I know I use my cell phone. I'm guilty at times and all of that, but it seems like we're almost in a battle with the kids to pull them away from that a little bit. And all of that is sort of different than the real life aspects that can be learned from basketball. And so do you try to do anything special, just in that battle that we have with the cell phones? Like, hey, put that down and let's focus on real life right here.
For sure. But we have to be realistic too. We have to understand they're growing up in a different era. I grew up on pagers. We didn't have cell phones. You had to go in the house to use the phone. You know what I mean? So I was excited to get a page and, make a call back, but we're all forced to be on our phone, our banking, insurance, everything is in the phone. My only thing is when we're playing in between the lines, those phones are up. When we get a water break, why are you running over to your phone? Stay focused on what you're doing. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Stay focused on what you're doing. But other than that, I've kind of been a little bit more flexible when it comes to the cell phones. But when it's time for us to put the work in, let's focus on that you can get back to your phone, next 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Yes.
Coach Spivey, I'm wondering about your feelings on youth sports and youth participation. How important is it to build a pipeline so that by the time the kids get to your level, they know what they're doing?
I actually think it's very important to have that youth participation. I mean, I do know and I do believe that some parents take it too far. But try to find that medium ground at where, they can still be a kid and still learn the game of basketball at an early age. So when they get to the high school level, the fun is still in the game.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose the fun. I mean, because you lose the fun, the heart and desire for the game leaves. So, just having trying to get in the city of East Cleveland just to have those youth systems, but having the right people in place to, to teach the game of basketball and then, continue to have fun at those young ages and not stress the wins and losses at those early ages. Because when it gets to high school, they stressing the wins and losses. So, if we continue to, work and work as one unit, we'll get to that level where it'll be a peaceful transition all the way through.
Okay, Coach White. So my question for you would be, and I lost it here for a second, how do you deal with issues of discipline or repeat offenses? I mean, do you have much of that with the team, and what do you do to try to moderate that?
On the line. We have a drill called "It Is What It Is," and when I say it is what it is, you know what it is.
Okay.
We do, for the most part, this is my first year actually teaching at Richmond High School. I came from East Cleveland School District, so now I'm actually in the building. And when you're in the building as a head coach, it can be a little work because every 20 minutes, here comes the email. This kid's doing this kid's doing that. So my kids know if I receive an email, we have bleachers, and we don't mind watching you run for 20 minutes on them. We bring out different things, but for the most part, our young ladies are, because this is my third year there, they know what the expectations are. They know what to do, what not to do. When I give you a look, I'm not playing. So for the most part, that is the discipline is something that we're working on every day. But I think if you set your standards from day one, then the less discipline happens that needs to happen. It's just like raising a child. My daughter and my son knew at 2 or 3 years old that this wasn't a joke. I'm not playing. And our young girls, our players understand the same thing. So I hear some of the coaches talking about cell phones. Well, we decided when I coached with Ron over at Lutheran East, one of the things that I always implemented is that our girls have to have scouting reports. So every one of our players get their scouting reports, the playbook comes to their cell phones. So they can never tell me that I didn't look at the scouting report. I can tell how much time they looked at the scouting report. When we're playing all these great teams and we have film on them, we'll throw a couple plays on our fast scouts. Mm-hmm. And so our kids get the opportunity to use their phones, but we're going to use them on the bus in the right manner. Sure. So, and if you don't do that, then that's the part of the discipline that comes involved. Because if you want to play at the next level, there's a lot of things that you can do, a lot of things that you can't do. And I think that a lot of times we sometimes get caught in our society, what's going on in the world today. Well, they're allowing you to do this, so we're going to allow you to do that. The one thing I've learned is just because society is doing it doesn't mean it's always the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And you are who you are. If you are a person that believes in strict discipline, I grew up under discipline. So I expect our players to have discipline. I expect for us to be on time. I expect for us to value each other, value each other's property. So luckily I can say in my 3 years at Richmond Heights is that we've never had any problems that was so detrimental to our team, because we start when they first come in, laying the law down, let them know what's expected of them, expectations. All down there at Joe's, if you guys are cutting players, send them on up to Richmond Heights, though. We'll gladly take them. Our numbers are not the greatest, but so our numbers are not big, but we're big in heart and we're very mighty. That's why, you know, we're probably the smallest school that's up here in Division 4. But our kids do play hard, and they understand expectations and what's going to be allowed and what's not. And as long as you set that from day one, I think you can make it a long way. If you, as a teacher, for me, I have a belief that it's easier for me to calm down, not stop being so hard on you. But if I come in laughing and joking and playing, then they're gonna laugh and joke and play, and then all of a sudden say, no, let's turn it on now. It's not gonna happen.
Right.
But if I come in and everything is strict, and then I can eventually start laying back, and then now it becomes a little more fun. Now, I'm not gonna say my kids come to me and crack jokes, because they probably don't. They probably on the line right now saying, he ain't never fun. So they go to my assistant coaches, because they'll laugh and joke with them a little more, and I'm a little more serious.
Right.
So in some ways, I don't know if I changed with the times yet. So I'm still working on it. I'm just trying to keep a job, honestly.
All right. Coach Meeks, now I know that all of you are very proficient with the X's and O's, but how do you see the role of a basketball coach with the expectations regarding academics? What kinds of things do you put in place to make sure, you know, those kids are excelling in the classroom?
Well, first, what we do is we have something called weekly grade sheets, Tuesday grade sheets. So we make sure every Tuesday you have to come with that grade sheet. It has comments on it from their teachers, their grade, not just passing, but what their grades are, if they have any missing assignments. And we have study table. So I can recall I used to, you know, coach, and a kid started crying, and I was like, I'd rather for you, we'll lose to win. So I'd rather you go to study table, get this together, and so you could be eligible to play and maybe get a scholarship one day. And for me, it's not just all about athletics, because academically, when you get out into this world, you know, because only maybe 1% might play college basketball, let's just be honest. But a lot of us aren't also maybe not go to college. So academically inclined with high school, you have to use those life skills that you're gonna get from each class, each teacher, and apply that in life.
Okay.
So you can be sound. Not just, you know, academics is cool, but let's be honest, how many times are we going to remember a scientific hypothesis when we're 21, 22 years old trying to get just a regular job? So academically, I tell kids all the time, I coach the kid, not the sport. Because if you coach that kid, they'll buy in, and then the sport will just come.
Sure.
So, and academics have to be a part of it, but also life skills, because they might not like academics, but if I love on you and tell you, inspire you that if you need this to get this. So it's always steps, and that's what we try to do, is try to give the life skills part so they can ease into the academics, so they can get a profession once they leave the high school or go to college.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, this is the last question, and this is going to be a quickie and a fun one, I hope. You're going to be on the spot a little bit because you're first.
Okay.
I want to know if you could name one person in the sport of basketball, could be college, could be pro, one person who has inspired you the most, who would it be and why?
Magic Johnson.
Any particular?
He was a leader. He had fun on the court. He was unselfish, and he was a winner. He had no excuses, and held everybody accountable. And even what I like is he was a boss among bosses. So if you're a boss and I can work with another boss, which all of us do up here, because all of us have been assistant coaches, been working with bosses, but we put our ego to the side. And I think that's what Magic did, and look at him now, you know, a billionaire. So I just look at Magic Johnson on that end, on all phases of the game, just being a winner and being a winner in life.
Coach, the most influencing basketball player that you've come across? And I know there's a lot.
For me,
It's me, man. I'm big bro right here.
for me, it's honestly, I had this kid named Anton Grady. And Anton Grady played at Cleveland State, played at Wichita State. And the reason I talk about Anton is because Anton was a kid that came from nothing. And a lot of times that's who we are. I grew up down in Garden Valley in the projects, and I came from nothing. And to watch a kid who just worked and worked and worked to work himself into something that was special, that was big for me. You know, I coached him since he was 8th grade all the way through high school, and just to watch him grow as a man and take on other family members as part of his family. So for me, it's not the superstars that we all see. It's the kid that I just know that just struggled to learn with reading, struggled with academics, but found a way to get it done. But I think that's also part of how we're raised at Central Catholic. You know, I think as a Central Catholic young man, we've had great coaches who taught us and who really were just not coaches, but also became family members, white, black, indifferent. They became a father figure to us. And I think when I think about somebody who inspires what we do, and when I'm watching a kid that didn't have anything to make it to a point where he was able to accept a four-year scholarship, be on one of the most rebounds at Cleveland State, was over 600 rebounds, 1,000 points, 200 blocks. Like that's remarkable for a kid that's just coming from nothing. So that when I think about it, that's what I look at, and I look for players that are like that. You know, we don't have the kids at Richmond that have everything. We have kids who struggle, and so I look at them too. They inspire me every day because I want to see them be better than what they have at home right now. Okay. I want them to have better lives. I want them to be able to go to college. Everybody's not blessed.
Right.
So that's what inspires me, my players. But if I had to go to one particular one, Anton Grady.
Okay, Coach Spivey.
You know, looking at players, you know, it really inspired me is one was able to coach him during AAU, Javon Beasley out of Shaker. Young man had some trouble, you know, got kicked off the team and then went away for a little bit, and you know, and still kept, you know, pursuing the game of basketball, and finally has the opportunity, you know, to play on the next level. This year at Tri-C, you know, and you know, just having that grind to keep going, you know, not giving up on, you know, his aspirations and dreams, and you know, he motivates me and push me, you know, to another level, because you know, he'll call me, hey coach, you know, can I get in the gym and work out with you? Just I'm trying to get back, you know. So you know, it kind of always evolving, and then you know, him bringing a different aspect of the game of basketball, and kind of being able to bounce back off of him, and it really, you know, so he's like the player, but I have a person that really truly inspires me, and that's my mother. And I have to shout her out every time, you know, when it comes to the game of basketball. Edith Spivey, you know, she's one of the most winningest coaches in the state of Ohio, you know. So, you know, when you've been inducted in Ohio High School Basketball Association Hall of Fame, you know, how can you not, you know, look at her as a great inspiration?
Sure. Nice. Coach Donaldson, somebody who's inspired you along the way.
Oh, it's not even close. It's MJ. I used to hate basketball, to be honest with you. I was football is my first love. But my friend, childhood friend, he kind of put on those old MJ tapes, and he used to just destroy the Cavs. But after a while, I had to start respecting him because he never disappointed. His will, his determination, and then as I got older, I started to appreciate his work ethic, all the things, just the winning. Winning comes first. It was just always about winning. It wasn't about stats or anything. And then, you know, people downplay him with the Wizards, but that just shows his love for the game. And I mean, he had grown men going out on Sundays trying to play basketball, you know what I mean, when they were washed. You know what I mean? So somebody like that just constantly inspires me to this day. You know, his shoes, everything. He just inspires the whole world. And you figure you got Kobe out of that. I mean, you got so many different players. So I think his will, just his charisma, just everything about him has so much polish. And I just try to make sure I have that same polish and work ethic and desire towards what I do.
Okay. Coach Winters, were you one of the ones out there on Sunday inspired by what you saw?
Man, I'm done. That's it. So since we're at Brush High School, I'll take the liberty to extend this question. Can I do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got 4 people, and I won't talk a lot about them. But for the first person, I'll go from previous, like from back in the day till now. Back in the day, for me, Coach Dave Allenick, who was my coach here at Brush High School, he's the one who taught me if you're on time, you're late. Every single play that I run now, I would say not every single, but like 80% of the plays that I run now came from him. I remember one time I was a sophomore point guard, and we had a really good team. I had a great 4 years here, a great run from '94 to '98. And did I just tell my age? So he pulled me over and he said, "Hey, listen, you're gonna run for every single time someone makes a mistake today, well, not just today, but from now on." And I'm like, "This is not fair. I'm a sophomore point guard. I'm trying to figure it out. Got a lot of talent, but I'm trying to figure it out, But so someone will make a mistake, he'll stop, get on the line. Someone else make a mistake, stop, get on the line. And what he was teaching me is that you're a point guard, you're a leader. You need to know where everyone is supposed to be.
Sure.
So now I'm coming down the court, hey, you over here, you over here. And now, 3 weeks later, I know every play, I know where everyone's supposed to be. I know I'm a good point guard, good tall point guard that can shoot the rock. You know what I'm saying? So he taught me that. He taught me a lot of different things about being a man, from a young man to growing into a man. Sure. Second person is LeBron. LeBron James, that's self-explanatory. I love his approach to the game on and off the court. Third person, Chet Mason, right? So that's a class act in every aspect of just being a person. You know what I'm saying? For me, being here for the last 8-9 years as a coach, and then the last 3 years inside the district as an administrator, as a youth development specialist, and us doing the same job, I got to see him and his demeanor and how he goes about things and how he's so positive in every single aspect of his life with his kids, handling his business at USA Basketball, with Nike, with the boys, with us, right? And I've adopted some of those concepts, and it made me a better person, not just for basketball. And then the fourth person is my son, Damaris Winters Jr. I've seen him, I've been in the gym with him forever, and I've seen him go from a kid that was looking at his sister and in his sister's shadows to breaking out. He was in his sister and his dad's shadows. He's breaking out. He's his own person right now. Yeah. If you're looking at him, he's just blowing up, right? He has offers, and that's because of him, because he's working. And if I had that work ethic, he got a better work ethic than even I do, And he's very, very humble, right? Humble. He started with the Richmond Heights team that had a lot of stars on it, right? He was trying to feel his way. Now he's right up there, if not more of a star than other people are, right? Because he's just been in the gym, and he stayed humble, he stayed working, stay asking questions, stay listening, stay praying, and now it's working out for him big time. So those are the 4 people who inspire me for basketball.
Thank you. Great answers. Coach?
You think about a lot of faces and a lot of names, and certainly I've been around a lot of great coaches, and my dad coached girls basketball forever. He had a huge impact on me and the people that impacted him, and kind of brought some of the philosophies that he taught to me that I try to carry on. But as I think about players, the first year at North was 2008, 2009, and we had a young lady named Kara, who was a point guard. She had, challenging life in school and at home, and she loved basketball. Just loved basketball. Her and I had some good back and forths. And this first varsity team that I coached while at North, and unfortunately, a few years after she graduated, I attended Kara's funeral, and that was the first experience on my end of losing a former student or player. And as a young coach at the time, I was like mid-20s, that just hit me different, and I knew Kara had some struggles in life and kind of second guessing things and being like, man, could I follow it up with her a few more times, So each year that we begin, and I look back at pictures, I always see that first team, and, Kara's face kind of jumps out to me, and I know some of the best memories that she had were probably in the gym with North girls basketball. So I try to keep that in perspective. And there's a lot of people, a lot of great players, a lot of faces when you ask that question that pop into my mind. But she's been one since the beginning that, I think about every single year.
Thanks for sharing such a personal memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's important too. Coach Burke, some influences.
I have, my first one is my mother, single parent, raised 3 boys by herself. But athletically, there's a man named James Tribble. His wife was a girls coach at Heights for years, Miss Janet Tribble. And when I was younger, they kind of brought me up. Mr. Tribble was a strict, stern man, and I was a playful young man. And I can remember a couple of times when he would take me you know, to play with Cappy because he was real good with some of the pro players. He would come get me and take me with him at a young age. And I can remember being too fancy, and he would tell me, you know, straighten up or you won't be coming with me anymore. And he was just real hard on me. And I can remember one time trying a crazy pass or a crazy play, and it was a tie game. And he made me get a ride home from the Coliseum.
Wow.
Yes. And then
It's a little stern.
the crazy part to that was the next morning he called me at like 8, you ready to go? And I got a ride home from Campy Russell. So I said, my mother was like, James Tripp was on the phone. I said, I'm not going here, you left me yesterday. Get in the car. So she made me get in the car, and as soon as I got in the car, we had a nice talk, but we forgot about it and we moved on. But it was a lesson learned. It was a lesson learned.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Coach Sampson.
Wow, that's a loaded question.
It's a tough one.
First of all, I'm like him. I say my mom. My mom was very inspirational. Then I would go back and I would look at like a guy like Tiny Nate Archibald and tag Magic Johnson on the back end of that, because that's ended up who I became the player of, a Magic Johnson. I wanted to razzle and dazzle. And if we played on a half court, I didn't want to play because I couldn't get my game off like I wanted to get it off. I wanted to smack it off the floor, hit it off my knee, and throw a pass over there. You know, so, and I sort of built on that. But to really break it down, I have a little granddaughter. Her name is Royal Hawkins. I think she could be a superstar. She'll work. She'll give you her plan. Mm-hmm. She'll know what she want to do, how many times she want to do it. She'll know the minutes to it. She'll know if she want to work out. If she's sore, she's not going to work out. We can handle the ball, but I'm not shooting. I'm not. And so she understands because I've taught her from the young age. She's on the fence now by playing because she's a superstar soccer player.
Okay.
She's stuck in between this, and she felt like so much pressure is being put on her about basketball because she got a little bit of knowledge. She have knowledge of the game. She know where the ball should go, who should be doing what. She know the plays. She know what should be happening. And she think it's just a lot of pressure on, but I call her baby doll. That's my baby.
Okay.
And I think she been an inspiration to me. Everything I try to teach her, hey, she know it. She break down the details to it. And if she don't get the details, she won't ask you to give it to her again.
Okay.
So.
I'm a witness.
Very good. Coach Smith.
I'm a witness to that. Yes, my son almost had this name, Julius Michael Irvin. Okay, Julius Michael Irvin.
Wow.
The full name that really inspired me, okay, Julius Michael Irvin Maxey Summit, okay? Julius Irvin, class act. That guy was the ultimate professional to this day, top class, okay? Michael Jordan, okay? Mm-hmm. His approach, his tenacity, his cold-heartedness on the court really inspired me. Wasn't a Chicago Bulls fan, not at all. Not at all, not even close. But the way Michael performed, and if you know, I'm sure all of us have heard him say a number of times, he played like that for the person who was coming there to see him play for the first time. He was going to give them their money's worth. So that mindset sort of, you know, I sort of took on to that. Julius Michael Irvin, Irvin Magic Johnson. Yes, Irvin Magic Johnson. The man had fun. The man had fun. Always had a smile on his face. Don't let the smile fool you as far as competitiveness, because he was one heck of a competitor. But he had fun playing, and he played it in a fun style. All the passes, the between the legs, the behind the back, looking away. I mean, it was fun to watch growing up or whatnot. Okay, Julius Michael Irvin Maxey. Coach Willie Maxey was my high school coach. He set a very, 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 he made a very good impression on me. Why is that? Well, to give you an example of what type of coach he was, our first week of basketball tryouts took place at a track. reason. And growing up, you know, he didn't tell us the reason why. Never did, you know. But as I grew up or whatnot, I figured out it was about how bad you want this. Are you here just for show, glitz, and glamour? Or are you here to prepare to play the game of basketball? So needless to say, a lot of people were eliminated just from the first week of basketball being on that track because you would have thought we were a track team.
Right.
The last name Summit, Pat Summit, women's basketball, man. I'm from the South, born and raised in Selma, Alabama, so girls basketball back then, growing up, was all Tennessee Volunteers, man. That was one competitive rump coach, to say it nicely. Her approach, the way she motivated her girls. And I say Pat Summit because she's a girls coach. I also watched Gino, but I watched Pat a little bit longer, and I was really, really impressed on how she conducted her team, the buttons that she was able to push with certain players. You know, she wasn't afraid of pushing a superstar or whatnot. So those people there, those are that one name, Julius Michael Irvin, Maxie Summit.
I like it. I like
who
it.
inspired me.
Coach Bell, how do you follow that up?
Well, I played against Pat Summit and we won.
Okay, that's a good follow.
It's the best I had. I'm kind of like Coach Winters. It's like I was kind of happy that these two came in, so when the mic came down, we didn't have to start. And I'm glad that this question started down there. But it was a lot of people. And one is on his coaching staff, CP. I remember I was number 32 for the same reason, Magic Johnson. But I knew nothing about Magic Johnson. I knew that my brother loved Magic Johnson. So my brother said Magic Johnson was the man. I'm being number 32. So it went from there, and I could remember Allen Iverson, and I could remember us trying in the gym to hit the crossover where you touch the floor. It wasn't a crossover if you didn't touch the floor and bring it back. So it was just like so much. I was never a kid really into basketball, but like when I went out for the team, I just made it. I could just play.
Yeah.
So then from there, I started playing against older girls. And then I was kind of good. And it was like, okay, so let's see what happens here. So just playing with older girls motivated me. And then what I did not get motivated me, which was a full ride D1, which is what I wanted to do. So I'm looking around, and we had the Kayla Joneses from East Lake North. We had, I don't know if anybody remembers from Cleveland Heights, Katrina Carr. So we had all these girls balling, and I'm right up there with them, the Samika Randalls of the world. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So I'm like, well, I want to do that. So just watching other girls get what I did not get, being good against older girls, being invited to play with older girls. There was a league on the west side of Cadell called the Midnight League. And I think we played at like 10, 11, and 12 o'clock at night. And it was nothing but older girls. There was a girl from Akron, Erica Glover. I don't know if anybody knows her. So, you know, I felt good playing against these older girls, and I was like, okay, well, I'm pretty good. And then today what's inspiring me is probably Liz Dunmeyer. So one day I'm just at home. She had to be about the 6th grade. My daughter was 7th grade. I went over to a little CYO. They needed a coach. I'm volunteering. I'm not really telling anybody who I am, what I've accomplished, or anything like that. They needed a coach. My daughter wanted to try another soccer player. I got most of my girls are playing soccer. My daughter is a very good soccer player. She wanted to carry the legacy. I gotta play ball, I gotta play ball. Okay, great. She's number 32. So we're all riding this Magic Johnson number. My sister played. I have a younger sister. She's number 32. So we're all riding the 32 train. And I'm just coaching my daughter's little CYO team. Nothing much going on there. And the season was over, and then I get a phone call, and it's like, hey, will you go to Joe's? And I'm like, hey, no. Like, I'm a Euclid grad, so it was like, no. So as I did a little research, I'm trying to figure out why this family is calling and go and go. And so now to watch Liz just be a kid, she's having fun, she plays, she loves it, a star volleyball player. So right now, she's motivating me. My assistant coach here is motivating me. He's in there. Practice will be at 9. He'll text the group chat, hey, I'll be there at 7:45. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, coach. I'm probably just going to wake up. So my team right now is motivating me, but it's just funny. As I grew up, was not a big basketball person. I had a curfew. I couldn't watch the games really. I could just play. And then just to watch like a lot of people gravitate towards me. I don't know if anybody knows Coach Storm and Norman. Just to watch people come and like, hey, can you come? And at first my mom was like, well, no, she's not going to the Martin Luther King Civic Center. She's not going over to Collinwood. And I'm like, well, Mom, wait, I think I have something here. Like something is going on. So I had a lot of coaches tell she can get a scholarship. So as the years have gone on, it's just been different people that have been influencing me and keeping me going with it. And I'm just having fun with it now. I'm having fun with it and loving it now.
That's tremendous. Thank you. Coach Sutton, want to weigh in?
I got a few people. Our senior from last year, Zanaya Smith. She's one kid that I had on my AAU team. Wasn't the most talented. I was just like, hey, you only like 5'3", but so much I could get out of you. But her heart was the biggest thing when she was on the court, because the thing is, she'll get her nails done, but she's still going to like play tough defense, and it's like relentless defense. So I'm just like, all right, cool, bet. She fall down, she get back up, she a little dizzy. Keep me in, coach. I can't do that technically because OSHA rules, but let's sit down. Let's see what the athletic trainer could do. Another person, Kobe Bryant. I've been a big Kobe fan since 99, 2000. That was kind of like my introduction into NBA basketball. The way he went about just wanting to do something new every year. You know what? Let me add this to my game, and let me add this to my game. So being that Swiss Army knife, and then still having that killer instinct to execute. People wonder like, okay, well, how does he get? You got to have that mindset.
Sure.
So developing that mindset as a player and as a coach, understanding the details and being that that coach is like, all right, well, Kobe was this. He was a Mamba when he was playing. When he transitioned to girls basketball, you saw the softness that he had with Gia and all the other girls because he was transitioning.
Right.
So that was big. And he said he wasn't a big Gino guy, but I am. I'm from Connecticut, so watching UConn at like 7, 8, 9, and watching them just win and win and win, and just understanding like that's what I want to do. I want to be like Gino. I actually want to beat Gino, but that's beside the point. I think the biggest thing for me was just to understand that, oh snap, I'm in this position to actually have an impact just like him and understand the game a little bit. So yeah, those are the three people.
Excellent. Coach?
I'm sorry. I never want to leave off the Dawn Staleys of the world and the Cheryl Swoops.
Okay. Well done.
Well, to me, that coach, that question has a lot of layers to it, because sometimes the coach you learn the most from never coached the sport, but they taught you lessons in life. And I'm gonna keep it short and simple, but I got 3 that really impacted my life. I'm gonna first off, we'll go with the basketball route. Dante Jackson, the head coach at Grambling State University, a very close friend of mine. I remember being in that hotel room and him as assistant coach, like, it's time for me to take that step. Then he got his next head coaching, then he got his first head coaching job. And then it went from there to the next head coaching job. And now to be multiple coach of the years and competing in the NCAA, and this is a person I can talk to at any time of the night, will answer the phone call. I learned continuously through him, because I remember he started planting that picture together, and now I'm drawing out mine. Another one that had a great impact in my life is my father. Learned a lot from him, just his eagerness and grittiness to get up and go get it. Despite battling through health things and all, raising 5 kids, I take that to the heart, and it's taught me a lot of lessons in my life, and how I call my players. They know they're my extended family. My son lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. We talk every day, FaceTime every day, but the coaching opportunity here in Cleveland led me back home after being away for 17 years. So sometimes you got to sacrifice, and it was all paying out. And last but not least, my little brother. Heart of gold, smallest guy on the football field, would run through a wall, played college ball, and he passed away a few years ago. So he's always that all-star still in my eyes.
Yeah.
So he's always going to continue to be my best coach, favorite coach, and my number 1 coach.
Well said. Coach, how about you? Inspirations, people who have really inspired you to take it to another level and stay involved?
Well, first and foremost, I always admire LeBron, hometown hero. 330. So gotta shout him out. But my high school teammate, her name was Jasmine Hubbard. We both play AAU together, and then we end up going to school together. We both got recruited together, and going into our sophomore year at that school, she ended up passing away on the court, and that was like the epitome of she left it on the floor. Like literally, this girl, like in high school, me and her were post players. We would be at the end. We gotta dive to make the time. Like, you gonna make this time. We diving, yeah. We diving, rolling, doing what we gotta do. She used to work. She used to catch the bus and come to practice. That's why, like, when these girls give me excuses, I'm like, no. I know what people use, and we didn't have cell phones that much in 2006, 2007. Like, we just got them. We didn't have ride share. You got on the bus after practice if you had to go to work. Like, it's no excuse. You can do both. I'm not taking that. And then also, my mother. I got to watch her play in college. She played Division I basketball at Akron University, Yontami Jones, but then it was Bell. And for her to still make a Division I school after having a child, like, a lot of women don't do that. They're done after they have their kids. They're done. She still did it. She still went, when the WNBA first came, she went and tried out, made it to the final cuts. They didn't pick her. But at the same time, she was like, well, I guess that wasn't the journey I was supposed to make. I need to be here with these kids. And she started coaching high school basketball ever since then and didn't stop until she literally was still, I wanted her to sit down and she wouldn't. That's how much she loved the game and wanted to be around everyone. And even when she worked for the city of Akron, she would open up the gym for everyone. Guys would come and play until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting over in the bleachers knocked out, like, it's time to go. But no, they wanted to keep playing. She'd go turn her alarm off. We gonna keep going. We going till, cause we winning. Somebody winning. They not leaving out that gym till they win. And it was those high schoolers in that. It was grown people and playing and everything. And that went on for some years, and people still come up to me and say that, like, man, I remember when your mom used to open up the gym. She used to come up to Cleveland and play. Like, we were out here. She loved it. Was the epitome of basketball. Like, slept, eat, breathe, everything was just basketball. And she was even good at volleyball too. So she was a good, well-rounded player. Okay. And that's where I got my passion from. Like I said, I was born into it. I don't think I had any other type of way to do it. Like, I was really born into this. Like, literally. I always say that. I always used to joke around with her, like, man, I graduated from high school twice, huh? Because she was pregnant with me her senior year. I walked the stage twice. But like, that was just, she was the perfect role model.
Okay.
The perfect role model.
Fantastic. Well, on that note, I just want to thank you all for, first of all, sharing a little bit about how you see your seasons. I mean, that's important. That's why we're here in large part. But even more so, I'd like to thank you all for sharing a little bit about who you are, what's inspired you, your passion, your love, your compassion for the people who are in this game, whether they're modern day or people from your past. This has been fantastic, just to learn a little bit more about who you are as people, and not just those, giving referees a hard time. So thank you very much for being here. Yes, sir.
I went to your gun, but I told you guys that I got on the schedule. Take it easy on me. I'm an old guy. When you press, take the press off the ass. I mean, take it easy on me, man. I mean, I'm 61, man.
Coach Burke, Coach Winters is going to tell me to edit that out, so, No, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is a fun time. Yes, sir.
I want to say one thing to piggyback on what Coach had said down there earlier. And I also want to tell you all are great, doing great things in your respective communities, and you really impacted lives. And I just want to salute you all. We don't do this just for a check. We do this to impact lives. And you all are great staples in your community. I want to continue to just learn and just congratulate you on what y'all doing. But what you mentioned earlier about players playing multiple sports, I think that's critical because you never know what the next sport opportunity might be. So often, sometimes we hear those conversations, and it's like, well, why is that girl missing practice? Well, that girl plays another sport, and she's got goals. I'm not going to limit her opportunities. I have a girl right now just committed to Marquette University for soccer. So we're willing to sacrifice those extra days when you can't get here, but she laid it out so great. This is my schedule. This is when I'll be locked in here for you, and I'm willing to accept with that. You're going to be a teenager that much time, so, I encourage all of my girls to play extra sports. That continues to build our programs. I want to help the volleyball coach. I want to help the soccer coach. Right now, one of our players they just left today. They're our field hockey team in the state Final Four. So they went down to Columbus. We got some people over in the cross country. They just left to go downstate today for their championships. So it's all about us helping each other. Programs helping programs, coaches helping coaches. We all wear the same. They might look different, but they all wear the same logo or Raider. And I want to help the volleyball coach because you doing that is going to help my girls in my sport. And I just want to always continue to preach that. You got to try as much as you can when you're a teenager. The most disheartening part is, especially when you go to tryouts, and you meet a girl or maybe 3 or 4, and they're like, I'm a senior. But I showed up for tryouts. I ain't been there off season, never thought about playing. But now, senior year, I want to show up to practice for tryout. And it's like, I love just that handshake connection. I got to do something with you to help you in your life. So it's not just about making the team, because you already made my team.
Right.
And you represent our school, so you're a part of the Shaker Heights team. And, just continue to be impacts in these kids' life, both on and off the court. Because like Coach said earlier down there, sometimes, unfortunately, these will be these girls' lifelong memories. These might be their highlights for the rest of their life, So I just wanted to say that impact.
Oh, that's a great perspective. Coach Bell?
I just wanted to thank Coach Winters and Coach White for inviting us. When is the last time Joe's been invited to anything? So, seriously. So this is my 3rd year. Last year we didn't get much, and we didn't get much the year before that. So I just want to thank you guys because it is an opportunity for my girls. And just like I told them, this is for y'all. I get nothing from this. So I just want to thank you guys for inviting us to some of the stuff that you guys have going on.
Can I say one quick thing?
Yes, you
I
can.
want to give a shout out to Coach Mel Burke because Coach Mel Burke, he coached me.
Fantastic.
When I say he coached me, I was a young whippersnapper out of high school. And he was just a couple of years, maybe 10 years older than me, but he pulled me close and because we like from the mud. So he said, hey, listen, you can do something with this. I had an attitude, was real, you know what I mean? So I just want to, give a shout out to him because he saved a lot of lives coming up, and I'm one of his products.
No question. Thank you very much. Let's give it up for Coach Burke. Anybody else with a comment? Coach White?
We're really excited about over at Richmond Heights. We've got the MLK Invitational, which will be January 14th and 15th. If you played last year in it, it was a one-day event. Great games. We got a lot of college coaches there, but this year we were to grow it to a 2-day event. It's actually, MLK Day. We got Shaker coming in. We have me at SJ. We got Lutheran East. We got Brush. We have Trinity. So we have a lot of Copley, McKinley. So we're really excited about that. If you hear it, you want to come out and watch some Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, good basketball, where we don't have to travel to
Mansfield.
travel across the world and play. We're going to have a lot of good basketball here in Northeast Ohio. MLK Invitation at Richmond Heights High School, January 14th and 15th. Look more on Twitter. And information be coming out about it, but we hope to see. Come watch these coaches coach. They do a great job with their programs. So we just want to make a huge shout out about that.
Anybody else have something they want to add before we shut it down? Well, again, I want to thank.
Anybody looking for freshman games or JV games, we need to schedule. We
But no, thanks again, seriously, everybody, not only for what you do on the court, raising up new players or coaching the current players, but, whoop, oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to shout out my younger guy.
So, this reminds me of myself. I have been to Coach Field. I'm going to get to school.
Before you leave, I want to see if I know
This young man, he's a hard worker. He's got the same hunger I had, trying to find his way, trying to find a scholarship. Man, to have all the support that you need to kind of do as a young black male. But I'm trying to be that vessel for him to make sure he, stays on the right path.
All right. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Oh.
And I want to thank Coach Smith. I mean, Coach Smith has been an inspiration to me. I only been on this program or staff. This is my second year. But man, I've just learned so much just by sitting back, saying nothing, just listening. You know, we got 2 ears. Somebody said you got one mouth, 2 ears. Listen. You don't have to talk all the time.
That's a good point.
Just listen. And I sit back and I've learned so much from him, and I thank you.
Well, and if anybody's looking for a new name for their child or grandchild, I think Coach Smith already has one, right? All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we hope you're back next year, and we'll see you on Saturday. All right.